What you're about to watch has already been taken off of YouTube. We exposed two scammer brothers and they retaliated by mass reporting the video and getting it shut down. Now we're blurring and hiding all the sensitive information that we can, but I don't even know how long this video is going to stay up. So enjoy it right now while you can, because it might not be here tomorrow.
Hey, you remember the scammer that was stealing everything from Gail, the 69-year-old lady? Well, we found him.
We've got his name, we've got his location, ID cards, family members. Look, we've got everything. I'm gonna turn his camera on so you all can see the person who's scamming on the other side of the screen. Before we made this, we gave this guy a chance to come clean. We wanted him to own up to what he had done. But what do all scammers do when they're confronted? They're gonna lie. You have a personal computer with all your information on it and people are running scams on it. It just is mind-boggling to me.
Thank you so much for the information, and I just give me some time. I will definitely get back to you.
He doesn't. He's getting exposed.
If you don't get back to me, then I'll assume it's you, okay? And I'm gonna expose you then.
After that call, they went and locked down all their social media, changed their profile pictures, and got rid of the computer. But by then, we've already got everything we needed.
What we learned is he's not scamming alone. His real name is Harjinder Singh, and he's scamming with his brother. It's a family operation, so it's time to expose and humiliate these scammer brothers. Let's get into it. It's your traditional refund scam. So they'll pretend to be a company. In this case, they're going to be Norton LifeLock, and they're issuing you a refund for a charge that you did not approve of. So they'll go have you download the remote software, connect into your computer, and then they will run this refund form on your screen. It's just a Google form, and you put in that information. From there, they've got your information that they could probably sell to somebody else, but then they will go through the process of pretending to overpay you. So for instance, if you owed $400, they might give you $40,000 if you have that in your account. One of the things I did want to highlight is they're using pahelp.us. And what you'll do is the victim will go to pahelp.us, and then the scammer will give them a code. You can also see if you're the administrator, in this case Harjinder, he's watching all of the different sessions that are happening. So you can see if any of your other guys are running any other scams, and you can click in and watch the screen. It's all kind of managed under a central console, and I think that's why the scammers like it. It's cloud-based, so they can go into this, they can log into it, and they can see all their sessions right from there. So once they have this thing downloaded, they can all just log in without anything popping up on the screen, without any notification, anything. It's actually very, very scary. You can actually see on the management console, you can see where the scammer, in this case Harjinder, who's on his computer, once they're connected in, they have a toolbar at the top, and they can do a bunch of different things. They can take pictures, they can record. They obviously have access to be able to move the mouse around. And you've seen the screen before on a lot of my scam baits where it says like, Windows software is updating, please don't turn off your computer. So that's what's happening. So they're going to the top, they have block guest input and blank guest monitor. So right now, you'll see that they're putting in all the information of the victims, and they've created a Western Union for the victim. And they're trying to send $293 into Indian rupees just to them so they can go pick it up. They do these kinds of things so they can get quick transfers. If you don't have that much money, they're gonna hide your screen, try to do like a Zelle transfer, Western Union, you name it. Something I thought was really funny while I was monitoring him, you can see here that they're trying to do another Western Union transaction, but the transaction keeps failing. But then at the end, you can see that they run out of battery on the computer. So the battery dies out, and then they lose connection to the victim, which is pretty funny. When I'm talking about the location, these guys are located in Kolkata. We actually have Harjinder's identification card, his Indian identification card. So we have his address, we've looked that up. And based off of some of the footage that we have and some of the photos, social media, a bunch of different things, we do believe they're probably scamming like out of Harjinder's place where he lives. Even though a lot of these big companies have shut down, these scammers are still trying to figure out ways to make money and steal from innocent people. So from what we've seen, they also have a bunch of different kind of travel companies and different things that they run LLCs out of. So we found some information on that too, some addresses as well. But we do think that based off of the visual evidence that we have, that he's running out of everything out of their house or apartment. You have to think about it too, because these guys are running these scams in the middle of the night and they have families and stuff like that. So are you telling your family like, hey, Go sleep in the other room. I'm scamming people. I personally think that they were working with a bunch of other people. They might have had openers, like we've talked about before, and they could be closers. So you have an opener that gets the connection, and then they pass it over to like maybe Balkar and Harjinder. They're the closers, possibly. One of the things I did not see was any kind of phone system on Harjinder's computer at the time. So he was almost kind of being a manager, or else when he was on the phone, he was just using his phone and he wasn't doing it through the computer. So what I can see from the evidence that we've gained, Balkar is probably sitting there right next to him, maybe a couple of others, running scams from different computers, that Harjinder was kind of monitoring everything, and then he was popping around to the different scams that were going on. As you can see with Gail, they almost had her send tens of thousands of dollars to a money mule that they would have stolen from her. So it doesn't matter the size of the operation, guys. If they find the right victims, they can pounce and they can steal a lot of money.
Real quick, guys, there are scammers everywhere in our comments section. So if you're seeking help or advice, you'll see these scammers pretending to be myself or my team, trying to get you over to things like Telegram and WhatsApp. It's just simply not us. So be warned and be safe. Don't get scammed.
One of the interesting things too is Gail had a money mule that she was going to be sending a check to.
Protect people.
The name of the person
Yes, ma'am.
that we're supposed to be sending this check to. Go after the need.
And one of the really crazy things that I put in the address, and it was actually a Chase bank. So it kind of begs the question, is this someone that works within the bank that then is getting this check, putting it into their account or a business account or something like that, and then going and laundering it because they work at the bank and no one's going to question that? Because I've also talked with scammer bosses before, and they have people work within these banks and other organizations where they're leaking data and information, and they're getting paid to steal people's information and sell it to scammers. So what I want to say here is that we have a physical address, we have a full name, and we're working with law enforcement to make sure that whoever was going to collect this money gets in trouble. Now, before we show you Balkar's face on his webcam, I wanted to share with you a story of something that happened to me last week. It was just last week, and I was having lunch, and I got a notification on my phone. I'd made a very large purchase, and then another large purchase, and I realized that my information was under attack. Our security partner, Aura, deals with these types of threats specifically every single day. And point blank, they'll help protect your identity. They do things like fraud monitoring, AV, and password management, all within a single app. And they'll even monitor the dark web for information like email addresses, phone numbers, passwords, or even your social. In my situation, I was able to find the source of my attack and protect my accounts and passwords immediately. With identity theft being such a common theme in our lives, there are new victims every 14 seconds, and they lose on average about $1,000. Now, in my case, I was going to lose tens of thousands of dollars. Aura will go and alert you in near real time when they find your information, so you can go and take the proper action. So go on over to aura.com/payback for a 2-week free trial and a great offer. And you can even put in your own information and see what Aura finds of yours. Now, let's go back and show the scammer's face on his webcam. I was watching this screen for a while. I didn't get a chance to necessarily hear any of the scams, but I saw everything going down. And I want to do the due diligence of like, hey, is this person scamming people? I've got a personal computer. This guy's got his wedding photos, all the stuff. We got some other information. So we were putting in info like the address and stuff and trying to find some numbers. We would call those, but nothing would happen. It would just dial tone out and things like that. I recognized one thing. Harjinder had a laptop, and when they got a laptop, you've got to search for the webcam. You've got to search for the webcam. I'm sorry. That's the number one thing you have to do.
All right, show me what you got here.
So he's like the manager. I've been watching him scam all day, and I was trying to like listen in, but he doesn't have he's like a manager. He like oversees everything.
So it's the manager's computer, and you turned on his webcam.
Yeah.
All right, hold on. Where is it at? Is it coming up?
Yeah.
Oh.
So I'm trying to see like what he's. Look, and then he like looks over.
Oh, there he is. There he is.
He realizes he's on there. Freaking realizes that he's like been scammed. So we were able to, with a couple of clicks, turn on the webcam, and we saw someone. I was like, is that Harjinder though? Because I've been dead set on this guy's photo for such a long time. I'm like, There's no way that's Harjinder. A lot of work, a lot of research going on. We freeze framed the shot of whoever this person was. We wanted to just match and verify. Like, maybe what if possibly this person had their computer stolen? What if the person that stole this person's computer just left all of their personal things on there as well? So I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, but everything was lining up that this guy is scamming. He's a part of this whole thing. We turned on the camera, we saw someone, actually ended up being somebody different. We had to go and figure out who the heck this person was. I was like, this doesn't match up. And after a lot of work, utilizing even people in the community, big shout out to folks in the community that were helping, we actually found out that Harjinder has a brother named Balkar, and they got a lot of social media. When I freeze framed Balkar and I saw his face and I saw his Facebook photos and Instagram and TikTok and all of that, I was like, that's our dude right there. So that was a very fulfilling moment to get all that information, get the validation and the verification of like, hey, this is the person, this is the dude. Again, like I said, we did a lot of digging to try to find any type of information because we wanted to contact Harjinder and try to give him the benefit of the doubt. We tried about 4 or 5 different phone numbers, and there was a travel company that was tied to Harjinder. And I was just on Google Maps, like kind of scrolling around, looking. I was like, dang, there's a +91 number. So I have a +92 number, and I decided to call the +91 in the middle of the day. Lo and behold, Harjinder picks up, and we get to have a conversation with him. Is this Harjinder?
Yes.
Someone's been on your computer for 2 months scamming people.
No, it's my personal computer. It is registered on my name, but it is nothing like that there is somebody who's using or misusing my computer. I will definitely, and thanks a lot for the information. I will just check it out.
Are you? No. I think there's something you're not telling me, Harjinder. So I started asking him questions and, hey, look, someone's running scams on your computer. Who is this? What are you doing? Do you have anything to say about this? Yes or no? Did you do this? Oh, well, sir, I'm going to have to, thank you for telling me about this. I need to go to the higher authorities.
I really have no idea about this. Trust me, I really have no idea.
So you just leave your computer every single day for months, where you just leave it and someone uses it, your personal computer?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking you. If you have any information, you let me know. Otherwise, I'll have to check by the experts, right?
Yeah, I'm the expert. We've checked already.
So
There's scams being run on your computer. I knew he was kind of BSing with me, pretending as if he didn't know what was going on, which he was picking up his phone very late at night India time. So then I was like, well, this is Scammer Payback and we expose scammers. And if you don't call me back in 24 hours, I'm going to expose you because we know everything. I've never talked to anyone that lets their personal computer go and you have no idea of what's going on, but you have a personal computer with all your information on it and people are running scams on it. It just is mind-boggling to me.
Thank you so much for the information, and I just give me some time. I will definitely get back to you. Thank you.
He doesn't. He's getting exposed.
If you don't get back to me, then I'll assume it's you, okay? And I'm gonna expose you then, okay? I called him back the next day. I called him back the day after that. He didn't pick up. I had my answer. I had the answer that I needed from him. That was the confirmation enough that he was guilty and that he was a scammer. So here we are to expose you, man. The number one goal in these types of exposed videos is shame. We want the scammers to feel the shame of what they're doing because they're not running a legitimate business. However, they're stealing from innocent people all across the world. They want everyone to believe that the money that they're making is from a bunch of hard work. But really, at the end of the day, they're stealing from innocent people. And for those scammers that think you're untouchable, think again. We find many Gales, we save them, and these victims want payback. So payback is what we're going to give. This has been Pierogi with Scammer Payback, saying don't get scammed.